Hello my friends, and welcome back to Mel's Quirky Corner, the YouTube edition. This time we are going to be talking about starting a small business, and this is probably going to be multiple parts. If you have any questions or want in my opinion on something, please drop it in the comments. I am an open book, as all of you know, so what I'm going to talk about is just things that I have seen in my experience with opening Mel's Quirky Corner. It is different for everybody, and so please don't think that what I say is the only thing. Like, it's definitely not. This is just what I have experienced in my life with opening my small business. So first things first. So I don't really know if we're gonna go first thing, second thing, whatever. So the first one thing is, what are you going to sell? Are you going to sell tumblers? Are you going to do designing? Are you going to sell clothing? Are you going to make food items? Like, whatever it is that you're gonna make. And when you figure out what you're going to make, you're also going to need, so if you don't already have, let's say that you have a Cricut, okay, and so you want to start a small business with either designs or decals or something like that. So you already have one piece of what you need for the business. But let's say that you wake up this morning and you want to start a small business. What do I need to invest in today to start a small business? Okay, let's start there. Obviously, it depends on what you are going to make. If you're going to make any sort of tumbler, then you would obviously need your tumblers, sanding blocks. If you're going to use resin or crystal-lac or Mod Podge or whatever it is that you're going to use to seal it, add designs, etc., etc. Let's say that it's going to be tumblers. Oh, we already said that. You also will need a tumbler turner so that you can keep your cups. You will need spray paint. There's so many different things, and so if you do want to start a small business, my biggest suggestion would be to research, and you're going to research every single day with your small business, because there's always new things, there's always new products, and there's always new things that you're going to learn. So another thing is, what separates you from your competition? Because there are thousands and thousands of small businesses that make tumblers, that make resin products, that make clothing, that make whatever it is. And this is not me saying you can't do that. It's just saying, what are you going to do that is going to separate you from the competition? So whether that be unique products that no one else is selling, or different pigments that someone else isn't selling, whatever it is that sets you apart. Maybe you don't really want to make a profit, and so you are just going to sell it bottom line out the door wholesale. It's different for everybody. So that's something else that you need to look into, is pricing. So when you are thinking about pricing, you need to not only think about how much it costs for you to produce that item, but also the shipping materials. Also, if you go onto the post office website, you can order a ton of shipping materials for free, so that is awesome. I didn't know that until a couple months ago, actually. But you need to put your shipping, not the actual shipping cost, like to ship it, unless you offer free shipping, and then obviously you need to put that in there as well. But if you're going to put tissue paper, or if you're going to do a little crinkle paper, or if you're going to put business cards, whatever you are going to put into that package also needs to be figured into your bottom line price. You also have to keep in mind that there are sales tax in some areas. Like, some countries don't have sales tax, some states don't even have sales tax. However, in Colorado we do, so I charge the sales tax for my state, and then my website will also, whatever the state it's going to, it will charge that sales tax as well. That's another thing. Are you going to just do word of mouth? Are you going to use social media? Are you going to get a website? Are you going to go on Etsy? There's a ton of different ways that you can get your product out there. Again, that's where research is going to come in. I did do Etsy for a while. However, due to how, like, all of my items are custom, so it was just a lot of trying to fill out the blanks and all of that stuff, and it was just kind of being like almost a hassle. Whereas on my website currently, you can actually go in and you can describe what kind of item that you want, what kind of design, and then choose your different pigments and colors and stuff that way. So that was easier for me. However, it's different for everyone again. And I'm sorry I have vinyl like everywhere. I've been weeding vinyl. So when we're talking about research, obviously, like, Google is a great resource, but also if you just reach out to other small businesses. Some of them will be very nice and they'll be open and tell you a lot of things. Others will believe that you need to kind of do it yourself because all of us researched it and that's how we got here. So yeah, YouTube also is great for helping. I know there's a ton of other YouTube videos and YouTubers that talk about starting businesses, and so research. Then let's talk about branding. So when you get a business name and make a business name, you want it to be something that you are going to keep for a long time because customers get that name and that's what's embedded in their head. So people know me as Mel. So anytime that they are trying to think of like, oh, where did I get this tumbler from? Mine's pretty easy because my name is Melissa and I go by Mel. So everyone's like, oh, okay, Mel's Quirky Corner. But if it's too long, people aren't going to remember that super long one. If it's too short, it can get, like, if it's an acronym, make sure that you're not making your business name an acronym that is on Urban Dictionary for something else. I've seen that happen. Very embarrassing, especially once you get an LLC. Then let's go into, if I know I'm talking really fast and there's probably going to be things that I miss, but if you have any questions, please just leave it in the comments. I can make a part 2. It's super easy. Anyways, so when we talk about LLCs and business licenses, so some people won't agree with me on this, but this is what I did and it worked out for me. So when you start a small business, you are investing a ton of money into hoping that it works out, and you're doing hours and hundreds of hours of just testing and failing and et cetera, to see if the products are going to work and what colors and to get the artistic side of it down, because it's not just slapping on colors and calling it a day. There is artisticness behind it. So you're already investing a ton of money into this, and so what I personally did is I waited a few months to see if this was going to be a viable business before I got my LLC and my business license, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't spending money on going through that entire process for something that's not going to work out. So everything else was going to be super easy. Like, I have a Cricut and I had some vinyl and a computer. Like, I could sell that stuff if it wasn't going to work out, type of a thing. But I also didn't want to be super money-wise out there. The first year, I have noticed that there's a lot when it comes to just learning, and especially you always want your products to be super out there and you want everyone to know your name, but then when it comes down to it, is it just going to be you that is making the products, that is on social media, that is doing the website and the emails and all of that stuff, or are you going to have anyone to help you? Doing a realistic timeline was something that I failed with, because I wanted to make things super quick. I wanted everyone to get their orders super quick, and then my name started to really get out there, and then I had more orders than I had productivity on my side, because I also have a chronic illness, well, several, but it was hard for me to be able to get products out in a timely manner, and so that's what I've learned, and that's why my website is currently shut down, is so that I can go through and really go through all the products and get rid of the ones that I no longer want to be producing, but B, just get caught up on all of my orders, especially after I had multiple procedures this last year, and there was just a lot that happened that I wasn't expecting. And so just make sure that you're setting a realistic time frame, and if you're going to accept orders, how many orders are you going to accept before there is a time where you're just yo, I gotta stop for a little bit because this is too much, and it's no longer benefiting the customer for it to be taking me this long. And so that's where I'm at. What else can I think of? That's kind of where I'm at right now. So to recap, let's do so the first thing is, what are you going to sell? Second thing is, what sets you apart? Third thing, come up with a name, branding, all of that. Branding is huge. Choosing your color schemes and all of that stuff, that's really big as well. And then your fourth thing is looking into pricing and the profit margin and things like that. and how you're going to market it, if you're going to do it by word of mouth, it's social media, etc., etc. And yeah, so I hope that answers some questions. I'm not sure if it does or not. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and good luck. And I'm so proud of you. Let me know when your website or whatever, if you are doing social media, whatever it is, be sure to drop it in the comments so I can go take a look. And I hope that you all have a great day. Thank you for tuning in.